up a few things from the new Catrice Generation Joy collection. I got the eyeshadow palette, a blush stick, lipstick, lip liner, and a mascara, and I'm gonna try them all out for you, tell you my first impression thoughts, so let's get into it. Alright, let's start out with the eyeshadow palette. I feel like this is actually a pretty cute looking palette. I quite like the packaging. It's like nice feeling cardboard, and it is quite compact, nothing like strange here. It's just kind of like straight to the point. The purple and the orangey red, the theme of this collection. I like the packaging of this one. And then when you open it up, you have a color story that can go quite neutral, but you have some pops of colors. Like it's a purple shimmer, there's a lilac matte, and we have a green matte over here. This palette actually swatched quite nicely, but I'm really gonna have to test this on the eyes to see how I really feel, because this could come across on the eyes or it could kind of like fall flat on the eyes, and it really also depends on how these bright colors are gonna blend. All in all, I feel like it's not the easiest palette to create a look with probably, but it could be something like a neutral palette that you can add a little bit of a pop of color to. It's just gonna be a bit difficult to do a completely like colorful look with this, but it's a 9 pan, so we're gonna see how this is gonna work. I'm just gonna zoom you in. So I already applied some eye primer, I did my brows, and I applied a little bit of bronzer, so there's a little makeup on my face already. So I kind of really want to try out these colorful mattes. I feel like those are really gonna tell if this palette is good quality. I think I'm just gonna start out with the green and the crease and go from there. The green seems pretty powdery in the pan. I'm just gonna stamp it on like this. First, like create a little bit of a shape here and see if I can build it up. I feel like it's not the most pigmented color, but if I can build it up, I'm still gonna be like fine with that. As long as I can get something that looks a little bit like it does in the pan, but it is quite a powdery shade. I feel like that blends kind of nicely, but yeah, it is quite soft in a way. Like it doesn't get super full pigment very easily. Gonna try and build it just a little more. Yeah, it's fine, but it's not the best pigmented matte, but it's also not like unblendable or something that is getting patchy. So at least it is like pretty good. I got a comment recently of someone who told me that some of the eyeshadows from Catrice are made in China and then some of the eyeshadows are made in Italy, and that kind of also changes the eyeshadow quality. Not all the eyeshadow quality is the same. And so I am gonna pay some more attention to that, and this eyeshadow palette is made in China. Not to say that Chinese makeup is bad per se. Some makeup that I really love is made in China, but of course there can be a little bit of a difference in quality when things are made in different factories. Okay, I have to admit that this is looking pretty good so far. Let's see how this blends. I blend the edges a little. I don't think I'm mad about this. I think this is actually going relatively well, keeping in mind that this is a €10 eyeshadow palette. I feel like that is looking pretty good. And now I want to try the purple matte, and I'm gonna take kind of like a smaller pointy brush. I'm gonna see what happens if I apply it over here. Okay, that is looking quite good. I'm gonna apply it on the lid as well. That is actually not too shabby. Alright, I think this might be going somewhere. I think this is looking pretty cute. I am gonna grab this kind of like goldish, greenish shimmer, and I'm gonna apply that on the lid. A little bit like in between here. Oh, that is kind of like a sheer topper-ish shade. Quite a nice shimmer to it. It's a little like flaky. It's flying around a little bit. Just taking a little less on the other side because that was getting away from me. Okay, that is pretty cute. I hope you can kind of see it, but that is quite a nice shimmer. I am gonna take this middle shade that has the embossing in the pan. I'm gonna take that in the inner corner. I also feel like that could very well work as a face highlight. Okay, that is quite impactful. Like that is definitely very shiny and kind of like a little textured, maybe a little shimmery. I think I'm gonna take it a little bit on the lid as well, just to kind of connect this whole situation. And because I applied with a brush, it's a little bit more sparse, but I do want the lilac to still shine through, so that's fine. I'm gonna run the dark green on the lower lash line, and then I'm gonna put some of the dark brown as a shadow liner on the top. So let's see how this sticks to the lower lash line. You can definitely see that it's a little bit of a powdery shade and not a very creamy shade, but greens are relatively hard to make for eyeshadow, so I'm not really gonna fault this particular palette for that. Now taking the dark brown for a little bit of definition. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade over here on the lower lash line as well, just to try it out. Seems a little powdery flaky, but that is sticking to the lower lash line very well. That's actually looking very good. That is a nice looking shade. I feel like I want to build up that green just a little more. I just feel like I want a little bit more from that green. I think that blended away a little bit too much, and trying to carefully blend the edges and not blending that green away. I feel like that green is looking just a little messy. Like that is not the easiest green to blend. I'm just taking a little bit of that shade and going over the edge to see if that can fix anything, but it's a little deep maybe for that, for my skin tone. Just applying that green gold shimmer a little bit, because I kind of lost that along the way. Alright, I just cleaned up under my eyes a little. I feel like it's a pretty good look, like a pretty cute look, but it's just a little hard to blend. Maybe the mascara can fix something, but I'm a little on the fence. So we have the Generation Joy Color Mascara. We have two color mascaras in this collection. I got the Rosewood one. This one is called CO1 Real Rosewood. And when I actually opened this up, there were kind of like mascara hairs, like bristles sticking out, like very long. I feel like something went wrong somewhere in the factory with this mascara. But I just cut them off and now it seems fine. I'm just gonna apply this mascara on my top and bottom lashes just to show you the color. If I feel like it looks a little bit too crazy, I might go over with the brown mascara and then we can also see what that does. I usually quite like mascaras that have these sort of brushes. I can definitely see the pink, but it's not like a crazy mascara in that it gives super crazy volume and length right away, but it's looking pretty good so far. It's a little bit of a drier mascara, not so much a liquidy mascara. Mainly at the like outer ends of the lashes I can see the pink really well, because there my lashes are a little bit less pigmented. I feel like this is looking better than expected, but also I feel like I can really see my lashes with all the other things on my eyes going on. I feel like this would go better with a different eye look. And I'm also curious what this will look like with the more no makeup. It is very subtle. It's very soft. I'm gonna see what happens if I apply another layer. It's quite a nice mascara. Not the best, not my favorite, I think. But it's quite nice. I think there's definitely some potential here. I feel like that is looking quite cute. But I'm gonna see. I'm curious to see what will happen if I apply a little bit of a brown mascara on top. So I'm gonna apply the Essence Lash Without Limits in brown. And I'm only gonna apply it to the top lash. And just see if we can kind of get a rosy brown. Maybe that could be cool. Yeah, I quite like that actually. You can still see the pink coming through, but it's a little bit more defined. And for the lower lashes, I'm just gonna keep the pink mascara on its own. Okay, what do we think of the look like this? I feel like it's looking pretty good in my mirror, but when I look in the viewfinder, I feel like the green is looking a little messy. Okay, let's move on to the next product. This is the Blushlighter stick, and I got the shade CO2 Make Me Blush. I have to say the packaging of this feels quite plasticky. It feels a little cheapy. I feel like Catrice has done better packaging for blush sticks than this. Also, when you turn this up, this feels very like loose. And then this product is a cream blush on one side and then a highlighter on the other side, and they are like half. I thought that this was gonna be a pretty deep blush. I thought that this was gonna be a little bit like hard to blend, hard to use for me, but in the swatch this looks very lightly pigmented, and it almost kind of blended away when I blended it with my finger, just the highlighter and the blush together. So I feel like I don't have to be too scared. I'm just gonna see what happens when I apply it like this, and I'm just gonna apply a little like more than I usually would start with, because I feel it's just gonna be very light. So let's see what that blends out to, and if I even like that it's half like that. Maybe it would be easier to blend if it were like swirled like the Seeking Flowers ones. Okay, that was pretty easy to use. I quite like it. There's definitely a glow to it. There's also some glitter from the eyeshadow mixed in now. But it is very subtle. It definitely is very subtle. I'm gonna see what happens if I kind of like mix it on the brush. So kind of like take it like this and apply like this, kind of like mixed. It's a very kind of sheer balmy feeling product, but it looks quite nice on the cheeks. It's just kind of like this subtle, glowy, sheer cheek product. Right, I'm gonna take much more and I'm gonna put that on my other cheek as well. I'm really going in, really taking a lot of product, and I'm just kind of like mixing it all together like a glowy cheek. It's also not like impossible to build up, but if you have deeper skin, you definitely have to take a lot of this, I think, to make it show up. I think I quite like this. I think this is looking pretty good. Like, it has a nice glow to it, it has a nice effect to it. It doesn't emphasize like imperfections or texture too much. I quite like the look. Just look, it's very glowy. It's not like sticky, but it also doesn't feel like this cream to powder, like super quick to dry down product. I'm just gonna blend the edges a little like this with a clean brush. Alright, it is very subtle, but I quite like the effect of it. There's no glitter to it at all. It's just kind of like this balmy sheer thing. I think it kind of depends on your skin type if it's really gonna dry down or still feel a little sticky. I don't feel like this is gonna dry down like super fast on everyone, because it really is not this cream to powder or like this kind of like stiff type of stick. Like some stick cream products are still kind of stiff, but this definitely is a little bit more balmy. I am kind of wondering like how this will last throughout the day, but so far I think it's looking pretty cute. Okay, I'm just gonna apply the lip product and then I'm gonna see if I want to add a little bit more of the blush on my cheeks. Alright, so I got one of the lipsticks. This is the Generation Joy lipstick in CO2 Real Rosewood. And this packaging actually feels really nice and weighty. It feels kind of like metal. It feels kind of heavy. It feels really like quality packaging, and then this feels so plasticky and kind of like loose in the packaging. I would have preferred definitely if they had done something like the lipstick for the blush as well. This lipstick seems kind of like this sheer kind of glowy lipstick, and it is a very warm rose shade. It is definitely not a cool toned rose, it's definitely quite a warm toned rose. We're gonna see how this is gonna look on the lips, but I also have the lip liner. So this is the Generation Joy lip liner in CO2 Real Rosewood as well. So they have a lip liner and a lipstick combo, so you can like match those if you want to. And this one is the same shade as that lipstick, and this one is a sharpenable pencil. This seems very creamy, very pigmented. I'm just gonna first apply this lip liner. That is a very creamy lip liner. It's definitely on the more creamy side. And I feel like you could easily wear this as a lipstick, like wear this all over your lips because it is so creamy. I think it's gonna be more comfortable, but I'm feeling like it's gonna be a little bit less long wearing than some lip liners. It is quite a nice shade. It is definitely a little bit of a peachy rose. And then the lipstick, let's just apply this one on top. This is very creamy, very thin. It has kind of like this herbally smell, very herbal. It's not like super strong, but it's definitely something that you notice. So it's an interesting choice for the scent. I feel like this is looking quite nice, but if you're looking for a really like, cool tone pink lipstick, that is not what this is gonna be. Yeah, I feel like for a thin, creamy lipstick, it looks very flattering on my lips. Like sometimes these very thin lipsticks like this, they just cling on to dry patches, but I don't feel like this one does that. I actually quite like the formula and the look of this. Like, it's very lightweight. I do feel a little bit of a mintiness on my lips. I don't know, is there any mint in this lipstick? It only says squalene and jojoba oil for the ingredients. Caring lipstick. Okay, I don't know what it is, but I feel a little bit of mintiness. Okay, so I applied a little bit more of the blush. It is definitely buildable. It doesn't pick up on itself. It doesn't start looking weird. It's very balmy, it's very glowy, it's a very interesting product that I definitely have to try out with different things for the base, and I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on how long this is gonna wear, because I feel like this could maybe be one that kind of disappears because it's so balmy. We're gonna see. I have to say I'm still a little bit unsure about this collection. I do really like so far the lip products, the lip look. It looks very flattering, it feels really nice. It is very comfortable. We're gonna see how it's gonna wear, but this is really cute and I like the packaging of the lipstick. It's beautiful. The blush, I really have to try it out more. So far I do like the look, but it's very different from what I'm used to. It's something that I still have to think about a little bit. Like, how do I really feel about this? Apply it a little more often. It has potential for sure. Then the mascara, I quite like the mascara. It's a cute mascara. You can kind of like mix and match, put it on the lower lash line. It definitely still gives some dimension to the lashes, but because it's such a light color, your lashes kind of like disappear to the background when you have a lot of eyeshadow going on, as I am today. So I'm gonna wear this with different looks and see how I feel, but the quality of the mascara is quite nice. It's more so like how much do I like the color, but it's also up to you how much you like a pink mascara. And then we have the eyeshadow palette. I feel like the look has come out pretty good. Like, it's pigmented, it does really like come across, but the green was a little bit tough to blend. The other shades I didn't have any issues with. I definitely have to do more looks to make up my mind. I feel like this palette definitely has some potential, but I cannot say yet like it's my new favorite. I cannot say yet that I don't like it. I definitely have to just play around with it and just really see how I feel. Alright, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.